11 News at Prime. Thanks for tuning into the second hour of the show. We kick it off with this just in. The South African Medical Association chairperson, Dr. Mvuyisi Mzukwa, was attacked on the side of the road while driving home from King Shaka International Airport this afternoon. He was on his way back from a SAMA board meeting. In a statement, the organization saying he sustained multiple wounds on his chest and has been hospitalized. We're now joined by SAMA Vice-Chairperson, Dr. Edward Ngwenya. Dr. Ngwenya, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Of course, this is somebody that we, particularly in the media, would have regular engagements with. What can you tell us about his state and the condition he's in tonight?
Good evening, Kathy, and good evening to your audience, and thank you for having us. Indeed, it is a sad time for us for this to have taken place. So just to kindly correct, so this happened yesterday in the late hours of the night. So we had our board stretch session yesterday throughout the entire day, and he flew back to KZN, and so along the N2 highway, that's where the incident then occurred, where on the side of the road, the side of the highway, he was then attacked, and he was there stabbed. He sustained stab wounds, multiple stab wounds to his chest. He managed to get away, to hide in nearby bushes, and fortunately being found by Metro Police and ending up in one of the nearby hospitals, wherein he was resuscitated and admitted into the intensive care unit, where he currently is. He is stable. And I have, in fact, just gotten off the phone with him. But the family is shook. We are shocked by the incident. We find it to be, quite horrendous, heinous, iniquitous, for lack of better words. And just quite indicative of the state that we are in as a country, in regards to crime, and the severity therein.
You've described it in your statement as well as being part of the high crime levels in this country. What do we know about the incident itself? Was it an attempted hijacking? How did he end up on the side of the road?
Yes, it was an attempted robbery. Actually, he pulled over to the side of the road to check his fuel gauge. I think he had experienced some problems. Unfortunately, it's next to an area where there is informal settlements. With the surrounding, call it impecunious, regions, and people who find themselves in that situation. And so as he was there, then they came individuals who then attacked him whilst in his car, and actually broke the windscreen, or rather the window on the driver's side, and forcing him out of the vehicle. And that's where then the assault then happened, where he sustained the stabs. So it is a robbery, where he was then assaulted, and then he managed to escape. He did, suffer hypovolemic shock. This happens when you lose a lot of blood, and reach a point where you are now dizzy, where you are drowsy, and then end up fainting. So that was the current situation. However, we are happy that currently he is stable in ICU. So those are the circumstances surrounding the situation. But as you have mentioned, Kathy, it is something that's worrisome. To us, the crime stats, have gone up, as we have heard from Minister Begitele in his announcement shortly towards the earlier parts of the last week. And it's so sad as we come, from a strategic meeting wherein we were discussing one of the things, universal health coverage, how we can support and, be there as doctors, healthcare workers, assisting in terms of preserving life. And there one comes from such a meeting only for his life to be put, at stake.
All right.
So this is deeply saddening and disheartening.
And as it stands, no news of arrest?
Currently, no. Currently, no news of arrest, no news of, any suspects thus far. And we call upon the law, to take its course, and speedily raise this. Look, we are having this conversation, sadly, because it is, the chairperson of the South African Medical Association, one who's been, active, and one who's been elected and appointed by all doctor groupings, within the South African Medical Association to be the chair. There are many others, sadly, who face this. Many are stories that unfortunately aren't broadcast, and many a case that is not brought to book. So we call upon the law enforcement, we call upon the minister, we call upon the department to speedily bring a curb to this violence, to these crimes, to these horrendous activities that go on. And assist us to be safe, not only as healthcare workers, but as a society and as individuals within the community.
All right, Dr. Ngwenya, we're going to leave it there for tonight. That is the SAMA Vice-Chairperson, and we certainly wish him a very speedy recovery.